Okay, I guess we need to consider this an emergency video. You know, I'm not usually moved to get up here and do a video unless I really have something to say. I have something interesting, something that I've discovered, something blew me away sonically, and that's where we are today. I just received... Actually, when did I get this? I think I got this on Saturday morning. And this is the Rhino HiFi audiophile version of Paranoid, the second Black Sabbath title that they've done. Mastered by Kevin Gray from the original master tape. I'm assuming it was the US master tape, not the first generation UK, which was used for the Vertigo label, and then pressed at optimal, limited to 5,000 copies. Where am I on this one? I'm at 2,211 out of 5,000 numbered copies. I would think, rest assured, this is going to come out in a non-numbered release at some point down the road. The thing sold out on the first day. It actually beat the self-titled Black Sabbath title. The first Black Sabbath record, I think that sold out in maybe less than a week. But, you know, the typical treatment, really, really beautiful, heavy duty, heavy cardstock. I'm assuming this is a Stoughton cover. Look at the gloss on this thing. Look at the color repro. Fantastic. It is, of course, a gatefold, as I just showed you. The original artwork has been reproduced beautifully there. Of course, we get this insert showing the actual master tapes from Trident Studios. Tape 1, tape 2. And a really nice essay, and, of course, some studio photos. This record was released in the United States in January 1971, released in the UK first in September 1970. I had not had a chance to listen to this at all over the weekend. I had NCAA tournament stuff going on. My wife decided to swap out a bed in our master bedroom. I had to list this thing on Facebook Marketplace. Finally sold it last night. I have a pretty good hit rate on Facebook Marketplace. I tell my wife it's my copywriting skills, as I humbly interject. Anyway, sold that. Assembled this crazy mail order bed, obviously from China. My God, this thing took 2 hours to build. Just ridiculous. And the old king-size bed that we have in our guest room, so easy. 8 bolts, ladies and gentlemen. 8 bolts and you're there. Maybe a little helping hand. It can be assembled in about 15 minutes. And that thing was rock solid. But my wife decided to make a change. Anyway, I'm neither here nor there. I have to let you know that this morning, I finally had a chance to spin this brand new release from Rhino Records, the Rhino HiFi. Here's that label. Kind of wish they would reproduce the original labels like the greenie. They're not doing that. They have their own label that they're doing for all of the Rhino HiFi series. This is a very nice... a protective sleeve, not just black plain paper. So I'm happy with this being in there. I did run this through my Humming Guru one time before I put it on the turntable. And my methodology today was to do a comparison to 2 other Paranoid copies that I do have and I just wanted to listen to War Pigs. Now, I ended up listening to the entire record, of course, but I'm going to focus in on War Pigs. First of all, famously on War Pigs, there is a volume level bump, maybe about a third of the way through the song, that you will hear on older pressings. I don't know what Kevin Gray did, but I'm not hearing it on this one. It just, I mean, the reason I'm up here today is that this thing blew me away, ladies and gentlemen. This is, if you thought the Sabbath self-titled was well done, if you thought the Cars self-titled was well done, you need to listen to this. If you didn't get a copy, hold your horses. There will be, I don't know why they wouldn't reissue this in a non-numbered edition. So just hold your horses. I liken this a lot to the punch and the slam and the drive and the clarity from the Stooges record. Now that was fantastic as well. It's over on the shelf somewhere. I didn't bother to pull it. What did I compare this to? So first of all, let me just talk about War Pigs, track 1, with the Kevin Gray mastered all analog cut, the current one. You know, he did this before, but that was before Kevin Gray kind of rebuilt all of his equipment at Coherent Studios in the Valley in the Los Angeles area, and he has a kind of a different setup these days. I do not have that earlier Kevin Gray cut to compare, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I will tell you on War Pigs, on this pressing, it is absolutely fantastic. So you get the air siren that comes through, 30, 45 seconds into that track. It swirls around almost holographic 3D between the two channels. And then eventually you get Bill Ward's cymbal hitting, kind of in the right-hand channel for me. And God, it's so clear. So it's just, the clarity is incredible. It sounds lifelike. It sounds like you could have been in the control room at Trident Studios in 1969 or 70, whenever the hell this thing was recorded. Read the notes, I should have. It just sounds so lifelike. Absolutely amazing. And then what drives this track up to 11 is Tony Iommi's guitar stabs and slabs. 2/3 of the way through that song when things really begin to open up, and that is an epic track. So, the first thing I did, like I said earlier, I listened to War Pigs, I lifted the needle, I put this record away, and then I went to my 1970 US OG that has seen better days. At least this has seen better days. This is an original Warner Brothers Greenie. It was pressed at Santa Maria. I specifically kind of sought this out. I kept my eyes open and I knew I wanted to try and get a Santa Maria pressing. I can't remember if there's a Monarch press of this as well. Anyway, this was cut at Artisan Sound, typically a well-regarded, an amazing mastering house back in the day. Kevin Gray, pretty sure he got his start with Bob McLeod at Artisan. Anyway, I put this on and, oh man, this Greenie, it was muffled, it was veiled, and I'm talking about War Pigs. I could hardly hear Bill Ward's little cymbal action after the air horn siren. And the air horn siren was not as like otherworldly as I hear it on the current Kevin Gray Rhino HiFi. So that was the first thing. And then the other thing, and a lot of people I think are probably faced with this reality, this thing's kind of a noisy cut. These things were played to death, and I don't have a lot of noticeable marks on this record, but it's crackly, it's noisy. I've run it through the Humming Guru in the past a couple times. Not a whole lot of improvement. So I will tell you right now, night and day. It's like night and day. This thing, I'm going to bring this probably to my local Second and Charles, which is kind of a subsidiary of Half Price Books. Any kid would be happy to get this record out in the wild. And I'm just going to cash this in for some credit. I don't feel good, trying to maybe list this on Discogs. I'm just going to let this thing go. Okay, the next pressing I have. This was, I believe, a 2017 digital cut. You can see the hype sticker right here. I don't remember when I bought this, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I got sucked in by, it's a limited press of this blue vinyl. And this was cut in doing further research. This was not the 2012 Kevin Gray plates that they use. This was a Rhino release as well. There's a black version of this too. Sean McGee cut this one. And I'm sorry, this thing is just nowhere near the presentation, the clarity, the punch, the drive, the slam, the air. It's just not there on this. That was also presented in a gatefold. It's nowhere near as kind of heavy duty as the current Rhino HiFi. So based on War Pigs alone, this is also going to Half Price Books. And I think I probably overpaid for this years ago. I remember paying like $60 or $70. Again, because it was a limited blue pressing. I was kind of lost in the headlights at that point in time. When we get to Planet Caravan Track 3, this is a kind of a spacey, almost, venturing into psych, a little bit of prog. It's an amazing cut, and just the interplay here and the imaging is just incredible, at least on my system. This is an incredible record, an incredible accomplishment. I'm already reading people on the Hoffman forums that are, that do have the vertical, which I do not. I've never heard it, but they're saying that this is now their number one. This is taking, the top spot. Don't know. I think you're going to have to hear this for yourself. Hopefully you did pick up a copy. It sold out in less than 24 hours, I'm pretty sure. Iron Man. Let's talk about Iron Man for a minute. When we get to Tony Iommi's he's really kind of off to the races, the second portion of that song and doing that huge soloing, that huge solo. Geezer Butler's bass is kind of keeping pace and holding down the bottom end. There is a ton of bottom end in this record, but not too much. But I will say, turn this thing up. Be ready for a ride, because this thing is going to blow your hair back. And Iron Man is no exception. Throughout, there is a fantastic tonality, a mid-range, a timbre in Ozzy's vocal. It sounds fantastic. And you sound like like you're there with him. Lifelike. Presence, breath of life. It's amazing on this thing. That's it. This was kind of an emergency video. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I was so impressed that I wanted to get this out. I've had a couple people asking for my opinion. 11 out of 10. Buy it if you haven't bought it already. Wait for it to come out. If you can't wait, there are copies available on Discogs. Thank you, Kevin Gray. Thank you, Rhino HiFi. These things, so far, everyone that I've bought, I have been really, really impressed. Have a great day. We'll be back soon.